Every time I look up at the sky, the small shy moon always catch my attention, and seeing the moon phases changing every day make me curious. How did we actually change like that? And is the moon that I see every day actually what it looks like? This sparked my curiosity and interest about the moon phases, and it was the specific photos that start all this question in my mind. Hi, I'm Chia Ling. I am a current Year 9 student studying in St. Margaret's, Berry Grammar. This photo actually has a personal significant meanings for me because as it was the first photo that I took through the telescope, and that is also the first time that I observed a moon through the telescope. It was so beautiful like this, and it is the motivation of me to starting start to do this science talent search project. I would now like to share my science project, Lunar Rhythm, exploring the patterns of the moon. And the aim of this project is to observe the clinical moon phases and compare their different surface by photographed close-up of the moon through telescope at different moon phases. So these 4 photos are the best photo that I took through these 5 months from March to July. And this is the waxing crescent. This is the first quarter. This is the waxing gibbous. And this is the full moon. So the result obtained these 4 photos. And I will now move on to the methods used to obtain the result. So for the equipment, I had the smartphone camera, which is Galaxy A54 that currently I'm using, and Alta Maxi 60 educational telescope kit, which includes a telescope, an adjustable tabletop tripod, and a optics which is 37.5 magnificate eyepiece, and another 90 magnificate eyepiece, the moon phase calendar application, and the weather tracking application, digital notebook, which is my smartphone for recording the time and observations. And in this lunar rhythm procedure, it contains 6 procedures, which is first, check the moon phase calendar and weather application to ensure the moon is at least 30 degrees above the horizon with clear sky. And the aim of this step is because the building and trees can block the view of lower altitudes. And the second is set up the telescope kit. The third is we have to find a target by which is the moon by operate with eyepiece and sight, and it is more efficiently locate the objects in greater detail by starting with a low power eyepiece and then switch to a high power eyepiece. And the fourth step is we are going to set up our camera. It is suggestible in my experience, set the camera ISO to as high as you can because it is getting better quality to photograph during the dim lightning night. So by turning ISO higher would get better progress of the clean moon. And then is ready to record, ready to photograph it. And the last step is a data complication, which is collect all the photograph and take notes and compare the different takes and do research with it. So although taking decent looking photos in the end, in actuality it is not a easy job. I have facing a lot of challenges and overcoming them. The first challenge that I face is the quality issues. So to taking a good quality photos during nighttime is not easy because night scene life is not friendly to the smartphone camera, which how I solve the problem is learning the professional setting of camera, which have to increase the ISO number in this situation. And the second thing is the photographing time. So the phrases like last quarter, waning crescents, and waning gibbous are always right late at midnight. So it limits the observation time due to the Earth's rotation. And so in my project, I'm focusing on the phrases that is before the full moon, which is waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, and the full moon. These four phrases. And another challenge is to checking the moving moon. Due to the Earth's rotation, people on the Earth will see the moon move approximately 15 degrees every hour, and so it's actually requiring constant adjustment to keep the moon in the eyepiece. And these are all the fail taking photograph that I was taken. So in actuality, I had to take at least 20 photos to find one that was as sharp and in focus as need. And additionally, it was only a short period of time available to take the photos of the moon, making the task even more difficult. But I overcome them. And now, as you can see, these 4 photos that I took, it is these moon phases are create like that periodically, basically repeat about every month. It is because the sun always illuminates half of the moon, half of our moon, and as the moon orbits the Earth, we see the different portion of the illuminate half of planets in its orbit, and reflecting, which creating these different phases periodically, which is actually the phrases periodic is actually 27 days. By observing these photos, for example, in this one, you can see the impact craters and mountains, and some dark side or dark side on the moon surface features are clearly be highlighted by the photos that taken through the telescope. And in this one, you can see the shadows of the craters compared to the full moon, because the full moon is all emulated like from this side, and this is emulated from this side. The sunlight is coming from this side, and this one the sunlight is coming from this side. So as you can see in this one, you cannot see any craters because there are no shadows shown in full moon. And these moon mountains are what it left of gigantic impacts in the moon's young life, which is many years ago. And this impact left huge inner craters surrounded by rings that would later become the mountain range. For example, this one here and this here, the mountains and the impact craters. Another thing is that me notice, thinking that it is valuable to be researched and noticeable to be studied, which is this dark side of the moon, and they are actually lunar maria. So these dark areas, this maria were formed being about 4 billion years ago during a period of intense bombardments by asteroid-sized bodies, as the moon was still volcanically active at that time. It was all the volcano around on the surface of the moon. It wasn't looks like that. It was 4 billion years ago, and these dark side are actually the lava flow across the surface, and the lava then cooled down to become this Maria, and the Maria meaning seas in Latins. Maria meaning seas because the Galileo think this black side are water at that time, and this Maria is darker than the rest of surface because the volcanic rock they are made from iron, which is less reflective than other moon rocks materials. And I did another research about the moons in two different opposite hemisphere. The reason I do this is I'm currently an overseas international student from Taiwan, and which is my hometown, is located in northern hemisphere, and as Australia is a southern hemisphere, I'm wondering, are they different? Are the moon looks different from the opposite side of the Earth? Because we are from the not opposite, but like two, one from southern and one is located in northern. Well, in the result, it is actually different. In Australia, Melbourne, we see the moon looks like this, but in Taiwan or in other northern hemisphere country, they will look at the moon like this, 180 degrees rotation, which is because, like in this posters, which is because in southern hemisphere are upside down relative to the people in the northern hemisphere. The phases of the moon are same, but they seems to play out in reverse, like 180 degrees rotation. The waxing and waning happen in the opposite direction as well. So for example, this is a waxing photos that we've seen, and it will look like that in the northern hemisphere. Overall, I learned a lot from this practical. Not only did I fulfill my curiosity, but also that I overcoming challenges that solving problem by myself. I am proud of myself, and I hope you all enjoy my presentations. It is good to wonder and better to try.